Hi, I'm Chris.
And my name is Amanda, and we are with the Tampa Hillsborough County Public Library System. As I was just saying, this is a college-bound program, so this is going to help you find library resources, online library resources, to prepare for the college entrance process.
All right, so we're going to start off with some frequently asked questions that we sometimes get online or we get in the branches. And I'll go ahead and I'll be the who wants to answer the first couple of questions.
Okay. Well, let me ask you some questions then, Chris. So the first question we get a lot is, these are all going to be online resources. So do you need a library card to use these?
You do. If you're going to be accessing remotely, which most often will be, you'll be prompted to enter in your library card number and your PIN. Now, if you don't have a card and you live in Hillsborough County, you can get a card. You'll want to contact us. We'll have contact information at the end of this program where you can get started with that.
Very good. Yes. And that will give you access not only to our college exam resources, but all of our online. It's definitely worth it. Okay, so our next question is, what's the cost, or what is the cost to even get a library card?
Well, the great news is that there is no cost. It's completely free. All you have to be is a Hillsborough County resident, or if you own property in the county and you can provide proof that you're a property owner, you can get a card. So there is no cost.
Wonderful. And once again, we are going to let you know how to get a library card if you are a Hillsborough County resident, where you need to access at the end of this program. As we always like to say, the library card is the most valuable thing you will ever carry in your wallet. So I definitely encourage you to get one if you don't have one.
That's very true. All right, so now I have a question for you.
Tables turn.
My exam date is coming up. My exam date is coming up and I'm on the wait list for a practice book. What can I do?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked, Chris. Well, that is anybody who's probably signed up for one of our SAT or ACT or GED, any practice prep book, ASVAB, all those books, they are hot ticket items. We cannot keep them on the shelves. So my first piece of advice is, you're probably never just going to browse one into the branch. So if you do want a copy of those, place a hold so you get in the wait list for a hold. That way you will know, you'll get in line for it, and you'll get the next available copy or you'll get the copy when it is available. And so that's my first piece of advice. It will probably never be on the shelf to browse because lots of people are looking for that. But my second piece of advice is, if you have a test coming up, or if you don't want to wait, don't wait. And so what is exciting is, tonight we're going to show you two resources we have through our library databases that you can access remotely from our library website, where you can take full practice tests. So my answer is, if you're interested in that, keep watching this program.
Yes. All right, so we're going to go ahead and dive in. We're going to show you a couple of resources tonight, Learning Express and Tutor.com. And I'm going to go ahead and back out of here and we'll get started with Learning Express.
Okay, sounds good. I'm going to turn off my camera and then I will be back on for Tutor.com.
All right, let me go ahead and turn my camera off as well. And I'm going to start by telling you that Learning Express Library is a learning resource. It's for students and professionals. It helps you with academic skill building, standardized test prep, career certification test prep, and a lot more. But tonight, as you know, we're going to be focusing on college preparation. So I'll show you some of the resources in there that you can use for that purpose. But the starting point, like with all of our online resources, is at our website, and that's hcplc.org. And this is our homepage, and at top you'll see the tabs here. That second tab in is called Learning and Research. You're going to click on that and scroll down just a little bit, and you can see a section called Online Classes. You click there, and you see you have a lot of choices here, and two of them are going to be covered tonight. Learning Express is right here. Now, if you're accessing it remotely, like we talked about earlier, if you would click there, you would get prompted to enter your card number and PIN number. So that would be the one step to get you in. And from there, I've already logged into my account, but this is what the Learning Express page is. I actually do need to log in again. So let me go ahead and do that. Now, to access the content in this resource, you do need to register. All it is an email and password. You don't have to pay anything. You don't have to provide any other information. But this way, you're able to track your progress. And I'll show you a little bit about how that works. But now that I've logged in, this is the home page. And like I said, registration is required, but that's a one-time thing. And you'll just sign in every time with your username and password. So this is the home page here. And I wanted to point out a few things at top. Here is my username here. Right here, it has some personal settings. You can access the user settings, you can log out, or access what's called your center. And I'll show you that here in a bit. There's a contact us section if you're having any trouble accessing the resource. And here under help is something really great. There's a video guide section. So if you don't remember what we go over tonight, just hop over to this part of Learning Express and you're able to watch videos on the very basic steps and tasks in order to successfully use Learning Express. Okay, so now let's move down just a little bit. Now we see already there's a search box here, so if you don't know which category your learning need falls under, you can just search here. However, they do provide the centers. These are called centers in Learning Express, and they're categorized by need. And as you can see, like I mentioned, they offer a lot: career preparation, high school equivalency center, and right here we have college admissions test prep. Now this is what we're going to be looking at tonight. I'm going to go ahead and click on this, and it's going to give us some options right away. And if you're a high school student or someone who's preparing to go into college and you haven't taken any of these aptitude tests, you may recognize some of these abbreviations. As you can see, there's ACT, SAT, there's AP exam prep stuff. There's even some help to write college admissions essays. Let's go ahead and look at the SAT preparation material. So I'm going to click on this, and it's going to show us, as you can see right here, all of these different options. We have preparation tutorials, practice tests, and even ebooks that you can check out. The ebooks are downloadable PDFs, and you can keep them as long as you want. You don't have to return them, just to let you know. That's how that works. So let's look at the SAT test preparation tutorial section. And we're going to go ahead and click on the top one here, the Introduction to the SAT Test Tutorial. And it's going to open up to a little bit of a brief kind of link here. It tells you what it's about. And let's say we like this. We definitely want to prepare for the SAT, and we want to do a tutorial before we do anything else. So I'm going to click on Start Tutorial, and it's going to load nicely right here. And it's going to give me some introduction information. At top, you can see there's a previous next. You can kind of navigate your way through this. And at left here, if I expand this, it kind of walks me through and gives me an overview of what's going to be covered in these lessons. And I can even explore a little bit further if I click on these plus signs, and it breaks down what's going to be covered in each section. So if you really know exactly what you're looking for, but you don't want to take an entire tutorial or test, it's kind of a shortcut for you to kind of skim the contents to see, oh, is this what I'm looking for? That's just a little tip for you. You can access that if you want. If not, you can just start right away. Speaking of, it looks like I have already started. So I'm going to click the next button and open up. Oh, you know what? Pardon me. Let me back up just a second here. I apologize. I think I got a little click happy there. Here we go. Let's start the tutorial again. All right, this was the page I was looking for. When I started clicking in the left, I think it already started advancing me through the tutorial. But here we are, we're back again. And now we can start from the beginning. And as you can see here, it actually says, or click any unit on the left menu. And that's what I was doing. It was jumping ahead for me. So you don't have to take the entire tutorial if you don't want to. Anyway, let's go ahead and start it. And we'll click on lesson 1. And it's basically just walking me through, giving me some information. It's very clear and in order. And let's go ahead and look at the top here. You can see where it says save and finish later. Let's say you've been working on this for a while, but you've run out of time. And you don't want to lose your place because you want to come back and finish this up. If I were to click on that, going to give me an option to either save or close without saving. I want to go ahead and save. Give it some time. And now it is taking me to what's called My Center, into the tutorials section. But let me back up here for a second. Let me go back up to my name. If you don't remember, in the drop menu, under my username, there's a My Center section. Let's click on that. And here we see a nice, well-organized, categorized display of the different lessons or tests that I'm currently taking. I don't have a lot here because this is a new account that I've created for this program. But under tutorials, you can see, actually, I've got 2 of them going because I think I started one earlier. Let me go ahead and delete one of them. And deleting is very easy. Just click on the trash can icon. But here it shows me it's in progress. So if I want, I can just click on that again. Let's say I logged in a couple of days later and I can just open it again. And it takes me right to the beginning again because I didn't actually do much in this tutorial. However, if you were well into the lessons and near completion or halfway through, give or take, you would be able to pick up from that point. So that is how you access your already in progress materials. Let's go back now to the home page. And let's say we've already taken plenty of tutorials and we now want to take a practice test, right? Because our test date is coming up and we're looking to really get a good feel for what the test is like. So I'm going to go ahead and click on College Admissions Test Prep again. I'm going to click on Prepare for your SAT test. And down here, we see the practice test section. So let's go ahead and open up reading practice tests. And again, this page looks similar to the other page. There's a little bit more on it. As you can see, there are 4 tests, practice tests that they offer. And up here also, there's a Learn More guidance link. If you want, it'll provide recommended other materials that you can use. Just a little bit of a heads up if you want to do some clicking around in here and see what else is on offer. All right, so let's say I want to take the SAT Reading Practice Test 1. I can either start the test. It also gives you a print option. If you want to step away from the computer, if you're a paper person, you can print it out and take the test that way. So let's go ahead and click Start Test. And this is going to take me to another screen that looks very similar to the one we were looking at when we started the tutorial. And there's a lovely spinning wheel, and here we are. Okay, so quickly, I'm just going to show you because I'm running a little short on time here, but that's fine. It gives a bit of an overview about the test, how you're going to, what this practice test is like. It tells you how many questions are on the test, approximately how much time you have to complete it. And then there's some great modes here. You can do simulation practice or learner. Simulation, obviously, is that 65-minute timer. Practice, you can see the answers after you have finished, and learner answers each question as you go. You can take this test as many times as you want in all the different modes. So there's no rules that constrain you there, just in case you were wondering. And it tells you, gives you some points about how to take the test and how to look at your scores. I'm going to go ahead and click Start in practice mode and just kind of just show you how it looks. And as you can see, we've got a timer there, and it's already started with some questions. You can flag questions for review. I'm going to go ahead and just answer a couple. I know I should be more mindful about my answers, but I just wanted to demonstrate what it looks like as you're going through. Now, if you're going to actually take the test, I recommend that you actually read the questions and look at what you're doing. But I just wanted to do that. I answered a few questions, and now I want to finish later. So I'm going to click the Finish Later option, and I want to save. And now it's going to take me to my center, to the test section of my center, and it says Reading Practice Test in progress. Let's go ahead and open that up and click these arrows here, and it's going to take me right back to my test. And as you can see, my answers are saved here. So that's great. You don't have to do it all at once if you don't have time. You know, if every night you only have a few few minutes to spare, you can make your way through that way. Just depends on what your needs are and what your schedule is like, and it's great because Learning Express is designed for you to work at your pace and to be flexible in that regard. You can also receive the scores of your test. I'm going to show you this just one last thing under My Center. Let me go ahead and close without saving. And let's go ahead and look at the test in progress. I'll click the plus symbol there. And we're going to go down here and we're going to see our test in progress. And oh, you know what? This is where you'll actually be able to see the grade, but I did not finish. I should have clicked on grade my test, which I didn't. But if you were to go back into the test, you would, pardon me, let's do this. Let's do that one last time. And then I am going to wrap this up so we can talk about Tutor.com. So let me go ahead and jump back out and then back in to the test. And I apologize. Here, score my test. Score. My score is 10. Not a great score because, of course, I didn't work all the way through it. But this is just for demonstration purposes. I'm going to view my answers, and it tells me what I got right and what I got wrong. And if I go into My Center, this is where you'll be able to actually see your scores. And here we go. Click the plus symbol, and then click the plus symbol again. And this is where you get a lot of feedback in My Center. It recommends what tutorials to take. And of course, it's giving me a lot of recommended materials here because I didn't complete the test and I just, guessed. But it's great if you do take the test and you wonder, well, what did I do poorly in? What do I need to improve on? It recommends specific practice tests and tutorials. So that is Learning Express. And of course, there's a lot more there on offer, but that specifically is for the college-bound person. If you're looking, like Amanda said earlier, if you don't have access to the books, but you need to look at those tests early and now, Learning Express is here and it's waiting for you. So with that, I am going to hand things over to Amanda.
Okay. Thank you, Chris. I'm going to go ahead and make myself the presenter, and we're going to switch over to, okay, wonderful. So we're going to jump right into Tutor.com, which is a product of the Princeton Review. I do want to let you know, this is also going to start from our website. You can see this is the hcplc.org edition. This is through our library. This is through our library, your library account that you would sign up, that you would enter for this. So just like Chris did before, it's going to be the same pathway. You're going to start at hcplc.org, go to the top tab, Learning and Research, and then under Learning and Research, it's going to be Careers and Education, and you are going to select Tutor.com. So if you do need a review of that, you can check that out. It will be posted on our library YouTube channel as a reminder of how to get there. So I am already in and I am signed in, and something Chris mentioned before is you want to make sure you always go through our library website because that's how you can access the service with your library card. For example, if it goes to just tutor.com, it will not know it's associated with our library system. And as I always like to say, if they ask you for your library card number, yes, you've done the right thing, give it to them. If they ask you for your credit card number, no, pump the brakes, go back and go to the library website. So as you're going to see as well, I'm already logged in just like Chris did. Now you can see I'm right here in the top right, you have a My Account. We're going to come back to that in a little bit, but you can see in the My Account, first of all, you're going to need to do this to connect to, for example, for the other tools, for the primary SAT, ACT prep tools, you're going to need to create an account within Tutor.com. So the first step is just getting in with your library card number and your PIN, but once you're in there, you create an account within the database. And it's the same, it's very similar to Learning Express Library. You're going to make up, you're going to use an email address and you're going to create a username and then a PIN. So that's all you have to come up with. And then what I'm going to recommend you do this because you can access some of the website as a guest, but you can't access all of the website without an account. you're going to definitely want to do that, not only to get into every section, but also because you can see here, it saves my sessions, my favorite tutors, my locker. So I'm just, and you can, your account settings are there as well. So I'm going to click in just to show you what it would look like. We aren't going to do any today, but if there's any sessions, for example, practice quizzes or practice tests you've taken, that will save there. Or a really cool thing about Tutor.com, which we're just about to learn, is you can connect with live tutors. So if you have one that really helps you, you can save that and try to connect with them again in the future. Or your locker is where it's going to save any files that you upload for review. It's going to save and you can come back to it again and again. So that's a great use of storage space. So keep that in mind as we are going forward with the tutorial here. So the first thing, we're going to look at 3 things today. We're going to look at how to connect with the tutor, how to submit a paper for review, and other tools is going to be our primary center that has SAT, ACT prep. So let's start with Connect to Tutor. It's going to be here at this top tab. All you have to do is click on that. And then what you're going to do is you can see you can connect with the tutor on a variety of issues. So the first thing you're going to select is topic. And you're going to scroll down and you have all these different test preps. You have ACT, PSAT, SAT, and GED. So these are all things you might need as you were preparing for college entrance. Let's go ahead and select ACT. And then the subcategories, you're going to select which part of the ACT test you need help with. You have English sections, math sections, and science sections. Let's go ahead and do trigonometry. And then you're going to select a grade, which grade you are in. We'll say 11th grade. And then here is an accessibility. If you want to tutor with voice chat capabilities, just check that box. We are not going to do that. We're not actually going to connect with the tutor today because we do not have time for that in the tutorial, but I do want to let you know the live one-on-one help is available between 2 p.m. and midnight every day of the week. Sunday through, starting on Sunday all the way back around again. So just keep that in mind. It's 2 p.m. and midnight when it is available. And then what you're going to do is you're going to enter your question here that you have want help with. If you need to attach a file to show them what you're talking about, go ahead and click here. You can upload a file from your computer or from a drive. Just keep in mind these are the files that are accepted. So you can see there is quite a few different file types accepted, and the maximum size is 5 megabytes. So you cannot go over that. Once you're ready, you go ahead and connect with these, select Connect Now, and that is going to let you connect with the tutor, and they are going to be able to help you directly. So that is a little bit about connecting with the tutor. Now, when we go into the ACT, SAT prep section, you might want to come out of, if you're having any issues or questions about some of the lessons and the drills in that section, this would be a really good cross-reference to go back to connect with the tutor if there's something you're not understanding there, and you can even reference the section that you are using within their own website. The next thing we're going to look at is submit a paper, and you can see here you can submit a file as part of your question. So this is a very similar service, submit a paper for a review. And what we're focusing on today is the more the test preparations, but if you wanted to submit, for example, part of the college entrance process is writing your college essay. So if you wanted to submit that paper for review for content or for grammar, you could definitely use this service. Now, just keeping in mind, once you submit your paper, it takes 12 hours to get a response from that. So what you're going to go ahead and do, and that's another reason you want to create an account, you're going to need to create an account to submit a paper because they will need to be able to let you know when your reviewed paper is ready with notes. So you could do write tutor essay drop-off review, and then you're going to fill out the drop-down boxes. So that is it didn't switch over yet. So you're going to say the review, you're going to say college intro or whatever grade, but let's say college intro. And then, actually not college, let's say 12th grade because this is pre-college. And then what is the topic of your paper? You'll see this is not a drop-down box, so you're going to fill that out yourself. You might want to say college entrance essay as an example. Where are you in the writing process? So this is you're going to ask to gauge. I think it still needs a lot of work. I think I'm on track but ready for feedback. I think it's almost perfect, but I wanted an extra set of eyes. So obviously, if you're at the beginning at the formation stages, you're going to select this one. If you are kind of midway through but you're not sure what to do next, select the middle. Or if you just want some proofreading, editing, that is what the third one is for. Let's just go ahead and say this. Okay, and then you're going to describe any specific instructions you have. So if your college entrance essay, if it has like a word count or a limit, or it has a specific theme, you can copy and paste or type it in there to let them know specifically what they're looking for. Let them know if you're using a citation style. This would be probably more apt for a research paper, but if you are, you can use the drop-down menu. And then once again, you can upload your file. It's going to just open that, choose a file from your computer. And then just keep in mind, in this one, it's quite a bit different. There's only doc, docx, and txt are the file choices. So make sure your document is saved. You can't do a PDF or anything like that. You're going to submit your paper, and then within 12 hours, you are going to get a response to that. Okay, let's hop over to the other tools section. And you can see this is where this center is going to be similar, very similar to what you saw in Learning Express Library, in that it has tools to help you keep on track, tools to help you take practice tests, and also tools to help you plan your learning strategy. So let's go into, you can see the different sections we have here: prep for the SAT, ACT, prep for grad school tests, prep for AP exams, and watch videos from math and English. These are just going to be general that could be applied to maybe any of the 3 of these categories. Let's go ahead and go into prep for the SAT, ACT. And it's just our wheel is spinning. We're getting there. Okay. We are having a little bit of a technical difficulty here. We'll just be patient. You know what? I have it open in another. Let's see if we can get there faster here. I apologize for the wait here. We're having a little. I was logged in, so maybe I hope it didn't log us out, but if not. Okay, there we go. Sorry about that. Okay, here we are. So you can see we are in the other tools section, and we selected prep for the ACT or the SAT. Or if you want to learn more, they have more information about how to get started and what you will find in each section. Because we did the SAT before, let's select the ACT for this one. Again, they're very similar. They're just based on the differences between the tests and the different strategies you might need, but you're going to find very similar tools and resources in each section. So this is also very helpful in that it's not just for taking the test, but it has resources for your whole targeted college entrance strategy. So it's going to start with, it's going to help you make your timeline. So you're going to start with selecting when the test is. So let's say the test is the 21st of January. It's going to let you know how many days are remaining, and it's going to tailor those suggestions it's going to give you based on how much time you have left. The other thing that's really cool about this is that you can set your target scores for each section. So this is going to let you know, again, as you're doing those practice drills, lessons, and practice tests, it's going to be able to give you more specified information about how much you may need to improve as you're going along. You can do it on the scale here, or you can just fill it out, fill out a number if you know what you're targeting. We're not going to put that in right now, but just to let you know that that is there. And then once you do the target scores, it's going to keep your total to let you know where you are, kind of like your litmus test, so you can keep checking in with that. It's just like almost like your dashboard here. It's going to let you know. So the first thing it's going to start with is the first class lesson. So if you look here, we're at the home center, and this is where your dashboard, where you're setting your goals and you're making your strategy, which I think is really cool because there is a lot to go through, and you want to make sure you're doing it you create a plan, so you're being more efficient with your time and you're getting the most out of it. So if you are not as concerned about that, and then it's going to create recommended, just like it did in Learning Express, it's going to create based on where your previous practice tests are, your previous lessons that you submit answers for, or what your timeline is, or how much you want to improve. That's when it's going to create where it thinks you should start and where you should go sequentially from there. So let's look at the first lesson. It's just going to open up here. And then this is the first, you're going to start your test. So this is going to take you, this is basically because we didn't put any kind of metrics in there. It's just starting at square one. So this is letting you know, how to get started, pacing. This is actually a really good place to start too if you're a little unsure of your strategy or your test plan. Pacing, letter of the day, this sort of thing. We're not going to go into that, but just to let you know what kind of thing it will start. And then it will start you into the more math, science, English lessons. So let's go, that's how to create your plan. Now let's go, say you're ready to jump right into practice tests. You've kind of got your own plan that you've come up with or your own schedule or your own calendar. This is going to let you take full practice tests. So you can actually take the test here. These are the full practice tests. So you can start the test here and fill out, or just like we were looking at Learning Express Library, you can print the PDF of the test. And actually, this should be, let's go into start. This should actually have a link here. I think it's because I may have been logged out because I was on too long, but when you are logged in, it is going to give you the test that you can print out. So that's an important thing to know as well, what your test strategy or what your testing method is going to be. If you are going to be taking the test on a computer at the testing center, practice on the computer. But if you are going to be filling out the bubbles on an actual piece of paper, practice it that way. So that is a good tip to know. So let's look at this, the practice test. And again, these are full practice tests. So once you go in, oh, here it is. I apologize. So here it is. If you're going to do the online test, you just launch the test. If you are going to do, this is where you can download the PDF where you can fill it out, print and fill it out yourself, launch the bubble sheet, do those sort of things. So let's give you a little look at what the online test looks like. You can select if you want it to be timed, time and a half, doubled, or untimed. Again, if you are, depending on where you are in your strategy, I would recommend with going timed, but if your first time going through, you might want to just go untimed to see what, see what the test looks like. So let's go ahead and say start exam. And then that is going to, you're just going to launch into the exam. And it's going to give you the directions. And then you can see the timer is up in the corner. You can pause, say you need to, get up, take a break, go to the bathroom, that sort of thing. You can do that. You have some different tools here: magnifier, highlighter, line reader, answer eliminator, or answer masking. Now, of course, you will not have these in the real ACT, but this is just to help you as you are going through the practice test. We're going to go ahead and end section because we are not going to do the full test, but this you can see here, you can see from how many sections there are. So that gives you a good idea of your pacing. Okay, so we left 75 unanswered questions. Obviously that they are sensing something is wrong here. In the real test, you're not going to do that, but if you are practicing, keep in mind this might affect your practice scores and as you're working towards your goals. So let's go ahead and close that and go back to the main section. So this is if you're doing your practice test, and you can see it will resume where I left it off. So if you go back in, I can pick up where I left off before. Okay, the next thing I like is coursework. So maybe you're not ready to jump right into those practice tests yet. As you saw in the beginning on your dashboard on your main page, it does make a guided strategy for you. But if you know something, there's something specific you want, and you can see this was my strategies. This is from the dashboard. If there's something you need to work on, say you feel very confident in writing, science, and reading in English, but you want to work on your math, you can go directly into your math section. Now you can see all of these have both lessons and drills. So that's going to be, it's like your teaching section and your practice section. So let's open Mastering Triangles and Properties. We're under Algebra. The lessons are going to be short video lessons. Let's pull it up just to see what it looks like. Just to let you know, see this is 3 minutes and 50 seconds. Okay, so you can see, like I was saying, that was 3 minutes and 50 seconds, and it's a nice short little video tutorial. And then once you do the video tutorial, it is going to give you a practice section so you can apply what you have just learned, which is pretty cool. And then once you've mastered those lessons, you can apply those to your practice tests. Okay, we are running out of time. So that is a little bit of overview of using the coursework to prepare for the practice test. But I do want to let you know, this is through the Princeton Review. So this is going to be a resources and materials section. This is what I was talking about when I was saying this is an overall view to college entrance. So it's going to have links to a lot of great collected resources where you can find information about all sorts of the college application process. So for example, you see an article, how to choose dream, match, and safety schools. So your 3 different categories of schools: your dream schools, schools that you're a good match for, or schools that are your safety schools that are maybe your backup options. How does financial aid work? Tips for paying for college, FAFSA is part of the financial aid process. So it's just going to have a lot of resources that you're going to need throughout the application process. And it's not just going to be the test, the ACT or the SAT, it's going to be financial aid, the college entrance essay, the application process, getting financial aid for applying. So there's all sorts of great resources there. Choosing a major, there's all sorts of great college entrance and college related to the college experience there that you can find. So you may want to even start with this section as you're starting to narrow down your search. Again, you might not be sure if you need to take the SAT or the ACT. This would be a good place to find information about that. Okay. So we're running a little long on time. That is just an overview of what is available, how to access it. What I'm going to go ahead and do is, Chris, let's go ahead and come back on camera. And we are going to see, let's pull up that slide again. I am going to make you the presenter. Let's go ahead and see if we have any questions there.
Yeah, we do have a few.
Okay, oh, you're the presenter, perfect. So let me go into this question section, and I am going to start with, okay, so I see we do have a question. Which should you use between Learning Express Library and the Tutor.com? The answer is whichever you like better. They are going to have different strategies and different resources that they've collected. As you can see, they're really very similar, that they have a testing center, they have a strategy, and depending on which test you're taking, the ACT or the SAT, the information there is going to be the same. It's going to be similar types of the information you need to take those practice tests. So go ahead and try them both out, see which makes you feel more comfortable. Or if you are one of those people that's way ahead of the game, use both. Go through all the practice tests on one and then go through the practice tests on the other if you have time for that.
I was going to say this, yeah, if you have more time, you might want to check out both.
Okay, so this is a good question. Are my practice test scores kept private?
That's a good question. I know, well, if you're definitely through our library system, if you've accessing it with your library card, you created your account, following all those steps in line, they're definitely private. We're never going to share that information. Now, there might be other rules, like say if a workforce center may have a subscription to these services, or a college that you're enrolled at, they may have different rules. But as far as the public library goes, our library in particular, they are kept private.
Yes. Yeah. So we, in terms of like our subscriptions to the services, yes, you do have privacy there. Okay. So this is a good question. So, and we talked a lot at the beginning of the presentation about getting a library card. Can I get a library card online?
Yes, you can. You can start the process on our website, and I believe you have to submit, some proof of residence. I believe you have to email it. Is that correct, Amanda? I think that's.
You can text, or in the current situation we find ourselves in, you can actually call our main line at 813-273-3652 or connect with us at hcplc.org/connect. We do have some special circumstances given the situation we find ourselves in, but you can send a photo for that proof of residency at the current time. And they're gonna, if you call that number or connect online with us, they're going to tell you the specific instructions. You can also you can always get the process started by going to hcplc.org, and in the top left corner, it says get a library card. You can pre-fill out the application, and then they will contact you, or you can contact them to finish that, to give them that photo proof of residency. So we are making allowances for the situation we find ourselves in. This is actually a good question, because we focused today a little bit on the ACT and the SAT, but the college entrance has a wide span. It could be somebody just coming from high school, or somebody who has been out of school for a while, or somebody that's working to finish high school. So one of our questions is, I need to complete my GED before I apply for college. Do you have any resources for that? And yes, we do. So if
Yeah,
you
Learning
saw,
Express has a whole.
go ahead.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say Learning Express has a whole high school center, and there's a GED preparation. They have tutorials and practice tests there. And I believe Tutor.com also has similar resources. So it's, again, both of them have a lot to offer. And if you have time, take advantage of both.
And especially, so you saw we focused today on college entrance, testing for college entrance, but there is also, especially on Learning Express Library, you have a lot more entrance. So you have the GED on both. You have SAT, ACT prep. Tutor.com has the AP exam prep, but Learning Express Library also leans more towards entrance exams for different types of careers. So as the postal worker exam, the civil service exam, nursing, the nursing school exam, ASVAB, and a couple other ones. So if your plan is not a 4-year college or a 2-year college, you can still find entrance exams following similar resources and similar processes to what we showed you tonight, but just applied to that specific test. Okay, we are actually running, well, we are well out of time, but I do want to thank everybody for joining us this evening and learning more about these resources. If you have any questions, like we said, go ahead and just give us a call at the library main line or connect with us online. And have a good evening.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Take care. We'll see you soon.
Bye.